Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the Wimbledon 2024. It talks about the main idea generation transition. Transition means change. Generation transition means old players going out and new players coming in. It's all about that. The first part touches who are these old players and who are the new players, and it focuses more on the men. Second part focuses more on women. And overall, it talks about the transition. Today's editorial is important from vocabulary point of view. Some words we have got for the first time. They're very important, and you have to spend some time to remember those words. Let us start the session with the question, what is the enrichment? As usual, you improve your comprehension skill. Today it is important from vocabulary point of view. Grammar consolidation, certain things you have to recollect. Effective English, mini mocks. I'll be bringing this soon. When you ask the question, what is this editorial about? This editorial discusses a significant generational transition. As I said, there are two words, generational transition. One generation to another generation, transition means change. Old generation to new generation. Where does it happen? Occurring in the world of tennis as Wimbledon 2024 begins. Where does it occur? In Wimbledon Championship that begins in soon, 2024. And when you see the word Wimbledon, you have to recollect an important grammar rule. What is that? Before any sport event, we have to use the definite article the Olympics, the Wimbledon, the US Open, the French Open. All these come under Grand Slam events, and this is a grass court event. And let us see how it goes. The tone of the editorial is reflective and anticipatory. If you guys remember, we got this word the other day, reflective, thinking deeply about something. And you have to recollect words like I wrote the other day, I think yesterday, introspect, contemplate, brood over, dwell on, pensive mood, all are related words. Let us go to editorial vocabulary. As I said, today we have a few new words important from the exam point of view. The very first one, pit stop. Pit stop is a noun, a brief stop for fuel, food, or rest, especially during a journey. While traveling, here the traveling in the sense the journey of the player over a period of time. You take a pause, you take a stop. That is known as pit stop. We made a quick pit stop at a roadside diner for lunch. Dinner is the food you have in the night. Diner, the one who has the food. Diners Club, there's an organization. Careful with the spelling, meaning also. Synonyms, break, pause, rest, stop. Antonyms, continuation, non-stop. Simple words. Swan song. Usually people mispronounce this. They say swan. The bird swan is not correct. We have to say swan. Swan song. What does it mean? A final performance or act before retirement. Someone is getting retired and that person makes a final performance. For that we say swan song. Look at the example. The actor's swan song was a breathtaking performance that earned him a standing ovation. Standing ovation, an important phrase. Us, he got a standing ovation. Means what? People, all the audience, all the people stand up and they clap. Then we say he got a standing ovation. And swan song, the last performance. Synonyms, finale, farewell performance, last hurrah. Debut, T is silent, opening act. You should also recollect the word maiden. Maiden appearance or debut, both mean one and the same. The next word, stranglehold. If you guys remember, last month I did a lot of editorials related to elections. Before elections, during elections, after elections, and we got this word many a time. Stranglehold, that constituency is a stranglehold of that party. Means what? That party is very strong over there. Here, a firm grip or control that is difficult to break. Other parties, if at all, the other parties contest in that constituency, they cannot win. A particular party has a strong hold or grip. Then we say it is a stranglehold of that particular party. The monopolistic company had a stranglehold on the market, leaving little room for competitors. Leaving little room means no room at all, negative connotation. And monopolistic, mono means one. Monopoly means one particular company dominating the entire market, taking the lion's share of the market. We say monopolistic or monopoly. An important word goes with economy. Synonyms: grip, control, domination, freedom, release. Simple words. Overarching, we have got this recently. Overarching means touching every dimension. For that, you have to recollect words like exhaustive, comprehensive, and holistic. I have given many a time. All encompassing or comprehensive, as I said. Along with comprehensive, you have to recollect words like exhaustive. And also, I use quite often this one, holistic approach. Exhaustive, comprehensive, holistic. Look at the example. The overarching theme of the book is a struggle for freedom. In a way, you can say the main theme, the theme that is touching all the dimensions, is freedom struggle or struggle for freedom. Comprehensive, all inclusive, enveloping, narrow, limited. Simple words. Stake claim, idiomatic expression. Someone stakes claim. What does it mean? Someone says, I have the right over this. To assert one's ownership or right to something. Example, the gold prospectors rush to stake their claim on the new land. A rush. When you rush for something, there's one important idiom. What is that? They've given many a time. Make a beeline. Make a beeline for something means a rush for something. Imagine a popular hero's movie, the first day, the first show. A lot of fans rush to see the movie. Then we say the fans made a beeline to the theater. The gold prospectors rush to stake their claim on the new land. Assert, declare, lay claim to an important expression. Abandon, relinquish. We have got many a time. Pulsating match, pulsating performance means what? Quite exciting, quite interesting, nerve biting, that keeps you on the edge of something. Beating or throbbing rhythmically. These are literal meaning. Pulsate means to beat rhythmically or throb. It goes with heart. That's why we say heart throb. Example, the pulsating music filled the nightclub with energy. You can also say the pulsating match. In this context, the pulsating match. Throbbing, beating, vibrating. These words are important. And throbbing goes with heart. Still, steady, simple words. We have got many a time. Meticulous. I use quite often. Meticulous means what? Looking at the minutest details. Meticulous reading. From the exam point of view, you have to read meticulously every question. That means you have to respect every word, every letter also. Showing great attention to detail, very careful and precise. Example sentence: her meticulous nature made her an excellent editor. Editors and proofreaders have to be meticulous. When they go through the manuscript, they have to read meticulously. And editor, one more profession: proofreading. The person is called proofreader. Editors and proofreaders, at any cost, they have to read meticulously. If they don't read meticulously, they are unfit to be in that profession. Thorough, detailed, precise, careless, sloppy. Sloppy goes with informal English. Slick. Slick has two different meanings. One meaning, good morning. One meaning, stylish. In this context, smooth and glossy, skillful and impressive, but perhaps sincere. Insincere. Perhaps means not sure. Generally, it has a positive connotation. Slick. And in this context, it goes with the quotes. The slick presentation convinced everyone of product's potential. The slick presentation means stylish presentation. Smooth, polished, suave. This is an important word. You have to be careful with the pronunciation. Suave. Suave means stylish, sophisticated, uh, urbane. Urbane is an important word. And also civilized. All these words you have to recollect. Rough, unpolished. Quintessential, an important word, part of speech adjective, representing the most perfect or typical example of a quality or class. Something represents or becomes a typical example for a particular quality, then we say quintessential. There's another word you have to know that is also very important, epitome. Epitome means typical example of something. Epitome. She is a quintessential example of a hard-working student. Some students are hardworking. We also use a word. There are two words you have to know. One is industrious, the other one diligent. Industrious, diligent means what? Hardworking. And here, quintessential example of a hardworking student. Typical, classic, ideal. A typical, uncharacteristic. Nous. How do you pronounce this? Nous. Nous is a new word we have got for the first time. Part of speech noun, common sense or practical intelligence. Example, she has a nous to handle difficult situations with ease. Practical knowledge, we also use the word shrewd, being shrewd. Intellect, wit, savvy. Based on savvy, you have to know one combination. Some people are very good at using technology. They use technology with a lot of comfort, with a lot of ease. Then we say he is a tech savvy. She is a tech savvy. Some people they get scared to use the new gadgets, but some they find it so easy to deal with the new gadgets. Then we say tech savvy. An important expression. Ignorance and stupidity. Simple words. That's all about editorial vocabulary. Let us go to the editorial. What is a stimulus? As I said, this is all about Wimbledon, the Wimbledon, and it's about the transition, generation transition. Old people like Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and Murray going out, and new players like Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner coming in. Open court. Why is it called open court? Now it is not easy to predict who is going to win the title. It is especially women, not men. If you look at women, the players, so many contenders. So it's an open thing on Wimbledon 2024. But what is the main idea? For the first time in 2 decades, the big four are not among favorites. Any tournament has favorites. The other day I did an editorial on T20 World Cup. Indian team was a favorite, and for the first time they justified that tag. Here, no favorites because usually the top players, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, once Murray, they were favorites. Now, no favorites because they're not in the right form. For the first time in 2 decades, 20 years, the big four are not among favorites. Young players are the favorites. Wimbledon 2024 has begun present perfect active voice with world tennis in the middle of a generational transition. This is the main idea. Generational transition. Old players going out, new players coming in. There is no Federer, no Nadal, with the former having retired and the latter on a long valedictory lap, which does not have SW19 as a pitch shop. Here we have important, this sentence itself is very important. There's so much to learn. If you ask me, sir, how? First, you have to focus on words like former and latter. Then you have to focus on this one, this one. Pit stop, I have already given the meaning, a pause. And SW19 means Wimbledon, the Wimbledon. Why is it called that? We don't know. Sports lovers, they may know. We don't have to. SW19 in this context means the Wimbledon. And here, two important words, former, latter. They have given many a time. Not later, latter. Former has many meanings. One meaning, former means former vice president, former president. Once president, once vice president. That's a different meaning altogether. But here, former means first in position, and latter means second in position. Here, there is no Federer and Nadal. That means Federer is the former and Nadal is the latter. Federer and Nadal, with the former having retired, Federer already retired, and the latter, Nadal, on a long valedictory, farewell lap, means the round, which does not have a SW19 as a pit stop. The 37-year-olds, generally, old is an adjective. It can be a noun. When we use as an adjective, we cannot use it in the plural form. Many competitive exams have given questions like 17-year-old's boy, wrong. 17-year-old boy, that is correct. But here it has been used as a noun. Here it talks about the 37-year-olds in Novak Djokovic and Andy Murray are closer to the end of their careers and have arrived in London with broken bodies. You cannot take literally. And these two guys are old enough to retire and they have arrived in London. Wimbledon takes place over there, the Wimbledon, with broken bodies. There's a statement. Usually, what writers do, see, whatever I say here, you can attribute to the passages in the exam, close test, and para jumbles. Writers make a statement and they try to justify. If you ask the question, how do they justify? They try to give a few examples, then the statement becomes a justified statement. Here, the writer says they have arrived with broken bodies. To justify that, the next two sentences: Djokovic is recovering from a knee surgery, while Murray went under a surgeon's scalpel to mend his back barely days ago. Mend means a repair, fix his back barely days ago. Hardly, barely, scarcely take the word when, no sooner takes the word than. You have to recollect that also. At what is said to be his Wimbledon swan song, Murray will only compete in doubles with his brother Jamie. It talks about Andy Murray. He is going to give his last performance based on that swan song, and he's not going to play singles, he's going to play doubles with his brother Jamie. Thus, the stranglehold the Big Four had established by winning 19 of the 20 editions from 2003 to 2023 is likely to be loosened. Based on all this, the writer says, thus, the stranglehold, the firm grip of the Big Four, these four players, had established by winning 19 of the 20 editions. They have won 19 of the 20 editions, those four together. From 2003 to 2023 is likely to be loosened. This is an important word. If you wonder why, you have to learn related words. Let us start with the first one, lose. Lose is a verb, past form lost, past participle also lost. And we have loose. This is an adjective. Opposite of tight. Loose shirt, tight shirt. Then we have loss. This is a noun. Opposite of profit. Profit and loss. Then based on this word, this is a verb, loosen. It's a regular verb, takes ed. To make something loose, to make loose. Look at the words. Under pressure, they may confuse. Exactly, busy life, you're there. Lose, tight, loss, loss in business, loss. Here, loss, noun. First lose, lost, verb. Then lose, double O, opposite of tight, adjective. Then loss, noun, opposite of profit. Then loosen. Loosen, what is opposite? Tighten. All these you have to know. Is likely to be loosened. Among women, this will be the first time since 1996 that neither of the famed Williams sisters will be competing, I suppose. This sentence talks about Williams sisters, how they performed, how they have been performing rather. Starting from 2000, Venus and Serena won 12 singles titles and finished runner up on 8 occasions. 2 decades means 20 titles. Of 20 titles, they won together 12, and 8 they appeared in the finals. That is phenomenal. Venus hasn't played since March 2024. Whenever you see prepositions like since and for, you have to think of two tenses. One is a present perfect, the other one is present perfect continuous. Here it is in present perfect negative form. Venus has not played since March 2024 and Serena since September 2022. In the year or two preceding the last matches, they were far from the tournament winning form. When they played last, they were not in good form, far from the winning streak or winning form. Yet, such has been the overarching excellence that they are the benchmark indices against which every grass court career is measured. Overarching means exhaustive, comprehensive, holistic. And also there is benchmark, standard. They have set the benchmark, means they have set the standard. And one important word here, if you take English language, English is known as the richest language. One of the reasons why it is called the richest language, it has borrowed words from different cultures and different languages. Many words are from Latin and Greek. Usually, nouns singular to plural we change by adding s or es, but nouns of Latin and Greek origin don't follow that rule. One of the examples, important ones, first I will write important ones, criterion singular. What is a plural? Criteria. Phenomenon singular. What is a plural? Phenomena. There are so many, in fact, offline classes we teach phenomena. And if you take alumnus, the plural, you can say alumni or alumni. Old student of a school or college. Memorandum, memoranda. Syllabus, syllabi. Index, indices. Matrix, matrices. Radius, radii. Very good. That's right. You have to recollect all those. It talks about the standards set by the sisters and benchmark indices against which every grass court career is measured. As the stage appears set to identify the next era's tennis greats, one era is over, the four major players. Now the stage is set to discover the next era champions. As the stage appears set to identify the next era's tennis greats, Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz has staked claim, present perfect again, most authoritatively. As I said, writers they make a statement, they try to justify. This is a statement. How has he claimed his stake to be the number one authoritatively? The writer explains all these in a way justification. As a 20-year-old, here I said, in the exam they may give 20 years old. That is wrong. 20-year-old. As a 20-year-old, he won Wimbledon in 2023 for his second major, US Open 2022, the first, beating Djokovic over 5 pulsating sets, nerve biting, exciting. And last month he graduated further by claiming the French Open. Last month I did one editorial. He won the French Open. Further, there's another word you have to recollect. They come under confusing words. FARTHER talks about distance. And what is the word given here? FURTHER. In addition to. In addition to. She has gone to the US for further studies. That's right, busy life. Talks about distance, farther. Further, in addition to. In close proximity is Jannik Sinner. This is not correct. I'm really surprised. I usually tell students proximity means closeness. Under redundancy topic, I tell them close proximity is wrong. I'm really surprised to see it in the editorial. There is a redundant expression here. What is it? Proximity means closeness. You cannot say close proximity. Then you may wonder, so how come you say that is wrong? How come it is in the editorial, the Hindu paper? Do remember, languages are dynamic. Every language has birth, growth, and death. Some languages have become dead languages, like Prakrit. Prakrit has become dead language in our country. Sanskrit also on the verge of becoming a dead language, but it has been revived. Birth, growth, and death. When it comes to any language, there is something called modern language, modern English or current English. Whatever you see here, that goes with modern English or current English. Regular classes, we tell students aircraft's wrong, it has to be aircraft. But the Hindu front page, you see aircrafts. We also tell students family members wrong, you have to say members of family. But the Hindu paper front page, you see family members. You have to understand they go with current English or modern English. We don't consider from the exam point of view. Do remember, exam point of view, they're not valid. Proximity. In proximity is Yannick Sinner, the lanky Italian. Lanky means tall and thin, who won the Australian Open in January and has since meticulously risen to the top of the singles rankings. A quarter finalist and a semi finalist in his last two visits to Wimbledon, the 22-year-old recently proved that he was a serious challenger on slick lawns, means stylish lawns, that is the Wimbledon, by winning Halle, Germany, his first title on grass. Sinner's credentials will, however, be put to test as early as the second round. In the second round, he is going to face a formidable opponent. Who is that? In the second round, against 2021 finalist and the quintessential grass courter Matteo Berrettini. He is going to face in the second round. Then we'll come to know to what extent he's good on grass courts and has since meticulously, I'm sorry. While the passing of the baton appears seamless among men, means smooth, you can make out Alcaraz is there, one or two players are there, they may get that thing, the control, the command. But women players, so many players are there. While the passing of the baton appears seamless among men, the battle of succession among women has multiple contenders. Many players are contending. Contenders here means competitors. Five times, to justify this statement, all these sentences. Five-time slam winner Iga Swiatek is undisputed number one, but her grass court nous is yet to fully develop. Second seed Coco Gauff's best at Wimbledon is fourth round, which she first reached in 2019 as a 15-year-old qualifier. Potential players, and with the withdrawal of Arina Sabalenka, third seed and a two-time semi-finalist, the field is open. The field is open. It starts with the same thing. Means anyone can win the title. That's all about the editorial related to sports. Some important words are there. Let us go to comprehension skill based questions and listening skill based questions. Read the first one and try to answer. Which of the following statements is true about Wimbledon 2024? You got to be careful. These usually we tell students are traps. In the exam, you should avoid these. Not advisable to touch. I would like to reiterate. Try to avoid, if you're not good at English, if you're not good at reading skill, try to avoid questions based on true false. They're nothing but traps. But here you can give it a try. Which of the following statements is true? Federer is competing. Nadal is playing in the singles tournament. Hold this one. Murray is only competing in doubles. Hold this also. Djokovic is fully fit. No. Here you may get confused between the second and third. First and fourth false. Second and third, you got to be careful. Nowhere in the editorial it has been mentioned Nadal is playing singles, but it has been clearly stated Murray is playing doubles with his brother. Based on that, this is true. Answer is C. C is true. Djokovic is not fit. He has arrived with a broken body. Who won Wimbledon in 2023? This is an easy one, should not be a problem to answer. It is Alcaraz. Carlos Alcaraz won 2023 Wimbledon. And last month he won the French Open. Go to the next one. Which of the following players is the current number one in women's tennis? It is Iga Swiatek, clearly mentioned. All these are based on explicit information. Three also C. Very good. Let us go to question number 4. How many Wimbledon singles titles did Venus and Serena Williams win combined? The Williams sisters, how many titles have they won together? Wimbledon titles alone. This is also based on explicit information. 12 titles. Out of 20, they won 12. And 8, they appeared in the finals. Answer is C. The last, that's all about the questions. Only 4 questions because familiar context, easy to comprehend. Let us go to error location. Today the questions are quite challenging. Try to read meticulously. Read the first one. How much the initial period of possible confusion will last is somebody's guess. This is from yesterday's editorial. You should spot familiar context, but for that you have to read meticulously. That is very important. No one has responded. How much? We are talking about confusion. Some students said how many. You cannot use how many. Confusion, abstract noun. You cannot use how many. You have to say how much. How much the initial period of possible confusion will last. How much confusion will last? Try to make it simple. How much confusion will be there? Usually we say. Nothing wrong with the first one, second one, and the third one. You have to decide whether there's an error in the fourth part. There is an error. What is that? No, no. Here we cannot say somebody's guess. We have to say anybody's guess. That's a standard phrase. It is anybody's guess. We never say somebody's guess. It's a standard phrase, standard expression. What is going to happen is anybody's guess. Means anyone can guess. The right word here, anybody. Anybody's guess is a standard expression. Let us go to the next one. There is no change in the name of the Criminal Procedure Code when the 1898 original was replaced with a new one in 1973. I always tell students when you read a sentence, look for the time phrase. If you see the time phrase, that acts as a clue for you to spot the error. Then it becomes very easy. One reading, you can spot the error within no time. Tell me, where is the error? Here it talks about a particular event that happened way back in 1973. And we have a verb in past here, was replaced in 1973. Past tense passive voice with a specific time. Then we cannot use the verb in present here. We are talking about the past context. Based on that, we have to say, there was no change. There was no change. What is the reason? The entire context talks about what happened in 1973. Something happened in 1973. That time there was no change. We cannot say there is no change. There was no change in the name of the Criminal Procedure Code when the 1898 original was replaced with a new one in 1973. Contextual awareness, this is what I call. Understand the context. Does it talk about the present or the past or the future? Based on that, you decide whether the verb has to be in present or past or future. There is also a persistent feeling that the laws were not fully debated in the legislature or widely discussed about with civil society. This is based on grammar knowledge. If you know grammar, you can answer this one reading. Of course, you have to remember. Very good, busy life. Here you have the verb discuss, then you cannot use. After certain verbs, we are not supposed to use prepositions. What are those verbs important from the exam point of view? And they come under common errors. Discuss about, order for, wrong. Stress on, wrong. inform to, wrong. All these are wrong expressions, common errors. After these verbs, discuss, order, inform, stress, don't use any preposition. We have an error in the fourth part. Discussed with civil society. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. Do remember, after the session, we provide the PDF. For that, to access the PDF, you have to go to the Telegram group. If you're not a member, join immediately. And when you access today, we have a few important words. Spend some time. That will help in the long run. Thank you very much.